Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, the housekeeping notes. All the product I'm using and all the dimensions are listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe and help me grow in YouTube world. We're going to be playing with branching out today. We're also going to be playing with Nest of Winter DSP. It is still around, and it is a beautiful set to use for Christmas. So, want to see what we're making? Well, we have an envelope, and it says, from our family to yours. And I don't know if you can see all the sparkly on that, but there's sparkle all over that envelope. And the back side as well is all decorated. And we are making this card right here. It is a tower card that stands. And I think you can see some of the glitter on there. And there you can see some of the glitter. I really bling these out with the old Wink of Stella. I just threw it all over the place. So we're going to make that card today. It's really easy. But first we're going to start with some stamping. What we need for stamping is we need an envelope, and we need a standard. This is 5 1/4 by 4 piece of white. And we are going to do some stamping on this. And I just realized when I was gathering everything up for this card, I didn't grab the Wink of Stella. So hang on. Don't know why I didn't grab my Wink of Stella, but I didn't. It's just in this little case right here. Got a couple open. We'll grab them. Sorry about that. I have to forget something. So we're just going to jump back and forth between the two so we don't have to keep on re-inking. So I think what we're going to start first is we are going to start with Cherry Cobbler. And we are going to do our verses all in Cherry Cobbler. So for the outside, or for the back of our card, we are going to say, wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. Nowhere on this card does it say, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas. You could use this for another occasion if you wanted, but it's also for Christmas. So that is that one. And then we'll pop over to our envelope and say, from our family to yours. And we are done with Cherry Cobbler. And we'll get it put away before I get it all over. Already got it on my hand, but that's okay. Okay, so next we need a stalk for our branch we're going to put in. We're going to put one across here. I've opened this up so I don't have anything behind here because I'm going to stamp off onto here. And I'm using Early Espresso for my branch. This is the smaller of the two. You can use the bigger one if you wanted. But I wanted to come just about like that. And I'm going to do the same thing. We're doing a lot of mirroring here. What's on the envelope? But I can go up a little further. Is like that. And that is the Early Espresso. Next, we are going to do Shaded Spruce. And this is going to be our pine boughs. Now you could do the multiple ones. I really do like the single one where I can actually place everything exactly where I want it. And I can turn it in the position I want. But you do the one that works for you. And I think I'll put one more right in here. So that's that part. I'm just hooking them in wherever I want them, and you do the same. This stamp set is so fun. Oop, I missed my little thing there, but you know what? There's a lot of branches coming off that one, so we'll add a little more. I know everybody's fallen in love with this set, mostly for the dies. The dies are amazing. I love them. But the stamp set is really, hang on, I'm getting some Shaded Spruce off my hand. This stamp set is amazing. I love it. And I think I want one more here. I got a little there, but I'm not going to worry about it. It is for the post office. Bear with me. I have a little too much Cherry Cobbler and Shaded Spruce on my hands. Use a little hand sanitizer and get that off there real quick. Okay, so next we need pecan pie, because we have to have some pine cones. And you can come in here and decide wherever you want your little pine cones to be. And he's got a pine cone. You can see him just nestled back there. And I think there's one just popping up here. So you can put those anywhere you want. And my top here is going to actually have two coming off. And they do sometimes have two. Trust me, we have lots of pines here in the Pacific Northwest. Mostly ponderosa. We have lots of different kinds of pine trees here too. I know everybody thinks of the Northwest, they think about the big old Douglas fir. But yeah, we got pines. Used to have a huge ponderosa pine in my front yard, but we had to have it taken down. It was massive. I don't even know how tall it was. It was 50 or 60 feet. It was huge. So anyhow, we got all our pines. And then I decided it's snowing. And so I'm going to use pull tie. But we had to have it taken down because it was getting too big. And it was, it was taking over everything. So this is in the same stamp set. I'm only using one stamp set today. And I'm going to do stamping off and turning. Just adding just some snow. And I'm going to do the same thing here. That looks good. Oh, one more down here. There we go. And yes, I hit the block there, but I'm not really worried about it. It is just the envelope. So that's all the stamping. That's our envelope, and this is the back of our card. The rest of it's die cutting. So we are going to be using our Stylish Shapes dies. We're going to be using the two largest Stylish Shapes dies. And I've already die cut all this to help things move along a little faster. So what I have is a piece of Shaded Spruce that is 11 by 4 1/4. Another piece of Shaded Spruce that is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. Like all the dimensions are listed below. I have die cut a Cherry Cobbler out of the largest circle, and this is out directly out of the paper, one piece of paper. Lots of different birds to choose from, but I wanted the cardinal. And this was the second Stylish shape. And then we have a piece of DSP. And I'm using 3 different patterns out of that pack. So this is the one that has the stripe and all the birds on it. And this one is 4 1/4 by 4. Then I have another piece that is 3 by 3. That one. And this is of the same pattern there. And this is 3/4 by 3. And then I have a third pattern right here. This has got the birds sitting on the branches on the back. And these are 3/4 by 4. And there's 3 of those. So like I said, I have, and then I've die cut 4 of the twigs, the sprigs here from the branching out. And I've die cut. Hang on. There's more. I know there's more. There's little pine cones in this set that you can die cut from. So I did this and this. Thought I'd use something else instead of the same dies everybody's been using, because everybody loves them. And I love them too, don't get me wrong. Do love them. But I decided to ignore them today. So, what we need first is we need to score this. Now you can choose. You can score on your trimmer. You can score on your scoreboard. Now you know I like my scoreboard. And I use it mostly when I'm making boxes and stuff. But this one I'm going to go ahead and use the trimmer. And we are going to be scoring this on one side. I'm just moving some blocks here so I have a little more room. Because I want to get this up here so you can see it. Let's see if I can scoot this in just slightly. There we go. So what I'm going to come in on the 11-inch side and make sure my cutting blade, I am notorious for grabbing my cutting blade, so I'm taking it out. You don't have to, but I grab it all the time and cut what I'm working on, so I just pull it out. Okay, so I'm going to score at 1. These are really hard dimensions. I can tell you, it's just going to blow your mind. 2, 3, and 4. Told you it was very, very hard. Now, I'm going to set this aside. We're going to come back to this piece. We're going to do one little thing to it. Now, this is the piece that is 3 1/4 by, get this right, by 4 3/4. And on the 4 3/4, we are going to score at 3 1/4, and 4 1/4. Okay. Now, this next step you can do with a pair of scissors, or you can do it in your paper trimmer. We have our 4 score lines right here. I'm going to take this over, and I'm going to, this is where the first score line is. I flipped it around, and I'm just coming in here, and I'm cutting off just a smidge. As soon as I put my cutting blade back, of course. This is how easy it is to change your cutting blade, people. Back in. I'm cutting off that much. It's not even an actual, I'm not even sure what it is, or less. And the reason I'm taking that off, I've discovered this card closes and moves around better if you take off that. So you can just take your scissors and snip that little head off, or you can take your trimmer and do it, whichever way you want. My first card, I used these. This one, I use the trimmer. Okay, so now it's time to start folding and give them all a good burnish. And this one. So this is going to end up folding up like this. Okay, I'm going to set that there. I like to put my DSP on first. I just find it a little easier to put it on when it's flat. So, and then we're going to put some DSP on this. So, what I want to do is, I know that this is going to, I've turned it opposite. So we know it's going to fold up this way. So I need, this is the right direction here. So if I open it this way, I know that I need DSP on these 3 panels, not this one. And it needs to face me, because I just, all I've done is looked at it and laid it open. And I need to move that camera back out, don't I? Whoop. I make y'all seasick there. Now you can put it all together and put the DSP on. It's up to you. Now there is one piece of DSP we can't put on until we get this attached. Or just before. But you do you. But this is for the pieces that I had that were 3/4 by 4. And they have little birds on them. And I know that this one is quite visible. These are not as visible. So since I know this one is more visible than any of them, I'm going to put most of the birds on that one. I mean, it's up to you, but I know that these panels are somewhat obscured from other things, and that back panel is not. So if you got lots of birds and you're using particularly this paper, you don't have to use this paper. Now we're just going to glue those on there. Okay, and then we're going to let this sit for just a second. Now this piece is going to hook on just like this. And this is the pattern piece where the birch trees are going up and down. I'm going to put those on just like that. Like I said, this is beautiful paper. You can choose. And if you don't have this paper, choose something else. Make it with the card with something else. Okay. Now we still have this piece of DSP, but this DSP needs to go on after we do a little bit with this piece. So what we're going to do is I'm going to fold, this is the bigger piece here, which, what have I done here? Oh, it's not supposed to be 11. You guys are going to laugh. The length of this is not 11 inches. I cut it at 11, thinking it was 11. It's not. I'm folding up this side. Like, this is too big. See, I make mistakes just like everybody else. This piece is supposed to be 9.5. So let's put it back in the trimmer and get the size I need. I said 11 just because I seen it and it was 11. And I didn't trim it. I was going to trim it with you and I forgot. There, that's better. It's 9.5 by 4 1/4. The dimensions below are correct. It's just I looked at the piece of paper. I hadn't trimmed it to size before I started. So, on what I say. What got me is I looked at that piece of paper. I'm looking how long it was. I'm like, just a second here, Laura. You've made a big mistake. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fold this like this. So there's two folding. There's two down and two up. Because then we're going to fold this and turn it just like that. So we're going to put glue on this one. And you can use tear and tape or Seal Plus. And then I'm just going to flip this over and rub that. Let that sit for just a second. You invite your friends in. I make mistakes all the time. But this way, when you cut that little piece off there, it's not hooking into the fold there on that piece, and it opens and closes and moves much freely. If it's not trimmed off, it will work, but it's very tight. This way, it's not as tight. This is where this piece goes, just like this. This is 4 1/4 by 4. Just remember your length is 4 1/4. Especially if your paper is directional like mine. And it could be a head more, but what I'm doing, there's a little bigger space here, and that's fine. What I am looking at is here, here, and here. So that's what we have so far. So this piece is very easy to do. And I find the easiest way to do this piece is with tear and tape. I'll try to use everything every once in a while, and this is where I like to do tear and tape. So I'm going to put tear and tape on this piece here. It's that little tab. And then I'm going to flip it over and put tear and tape on this piece right here. Right on the edge. You can do this with glue. I'm just doing tear and tape because I find tear and tape a lot easier. So we've got tape right here and then tape on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this back like this. And we're going to fold this down. And what we're going to do is center this sort of here, but you're looking right at this piece here because you know you've got your piece of tear and tape right there. And you know where you have to go. So I'm just centering out top and bottom, just like that. And that's where we're going to set it, just like that. So, and you could do one piece of tear and tape at a time, but I find doing two is just fine too. So I've got both the tear and tape off now. Now look at this. Look at the top and bottom. Looks pretty straight, and give it a rub. There it is, all hooked in. Like I said, it's pretty easy. Okay. So next we need our parts. Oh, before we go any further, we are going to go ahead and put the back on this before I start building other stuff on the front. It's a little bulky, it's a little awkward. It will work, but I just find it easier to put it on first before we get much more on the front. There's the back. Okay, so now we have this and these. And what I'm going to do, fold that down. I'm just going to flip it. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to glue. We are going to be using dimensionals in a minute, but right now we're going to use glue. And I'm going to put that right in the middle of the star. So it sort of goes from side to side there. Just one moment. Need a little sip of my tea. And you don't have to use stylish shapes. You could use a punch. You could use other, shapes. It doesn't have to be a circle. Okay, he's for later. We'll leave him over there. So what I need now is I need all of my branches here. And what I want to do is start placing these branches going around, staying inside the framework of my card. So I know I can put a little dot of glue there and on this. So you have to do each piece individually to see where you can actually place your glue. And you don't need a lot. But keep in mind, come up a little further. You need to stay inside the framework of your card. And we're going to put 4 of these on. So this one, see, I've got less room to work over on this side because I can't go down on this piece because we've got littler piece here. But I can go up because I can stay here. So I put a dot of glue there and there. And then just a little bit down on the stalk here. We have nothing to glue on above, but I can come out and hang over that. Just like that. And we continue on. This is about like that and like that. So I put a little glue there, there, and there. And then my last one. Okay. And you could add more or less of these to your choice. It is your card. But keep in mind, you got to stay inside the framework, not go out. So there's that piece like that. Then we're going to come in here and we are going to put some of our pine cones. Now, you could use glue with these pine cones. They have little holes in them. And I found it easier with these pine cones just to use some glue dots. But you could glue if you want, either way. But I think in this corner, we're going to have one here. And we have another one coming off. We're going to have two together here. Just like that. And then we have a couple of singles we'll put on here. And so I have a total of, what, 5 pine cones? Yeah, 5 pine cones. You can have more, you can have less. It's up to you. Set that one off this way. Okay, so that's that. Then we're going to take this and put it on dimensionals and put it up over the top. Birds lined up there. Okay, we're almost done, but not quite yet. We need some bling and a bow. And some Wingastella. So what I'm using is the Flower Accent Gold, and I'm using the black and white and gold Baker's Twine. I'm using the darker color. You could use a lighter one. I think both would look nicely. And I made me a little double bow out of that. And the other one I put off to the side over here. And you know, I think I'm still going to do that with this one too. Just grab me a dot here. Put me a glue dot right there in the center. As long as it's on the ribbon and not me. I set it right on the Cherry Cobbler. Just hanging off the side there, just like that. And then I'm going to use these gold accents. And I'm going to put one there, and a little one there. And a little one here. Oop, I'm knocking things over. Now it is time for some bling. And I'm going to put a piece of paper down. It's my notes. I'll flip it upside down because we are going to wink this thing out. So I'm going to grab my Wingastella. Ooh, and I'm going to grab my bone folder. You can use your finger. I don't do that. I try to be kind to my fingers. Make sure you got some juice running down in there, which I do. And then just do this. Keep in mind, you want to put something, do it on a glass mat, you know. And I will wipe off because it's getting on the glass mat too. And let me see if I can see. Not too bad. I want a little more. There we go. Got a lot of dots there. Then I'm going to flip it over. Give a few more to this side. Should have this sitting here. You get the overflow. Oop, I dropped some. If you drop some, just pick it up. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, set the other one, set the envelope next to the card when you're doing it, and it'll pick up the overflow. There we go. Like I said, I wanted this card winked out. Then you can just take your bone folder and wipe it off. This is just my little scrub. And we'll pick this up out of the way. Wipe this up real quick. Just remember, it's going to go everywhere, guys. It will, literally. It's even on me. It's on my clothes. But anyhow, that is our beautiful. Now you can see the Wink of Style up in there. Because I think it makes it look like snowfall. And there's the envelope for it. So that's our card for today. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you next time. Thank you.